Hello and welcome, Flickin' Reel fans, to your weekly episode of News and Views here on the Flickin' Reel Fancast. We are your source for news, reviews, and daily discourse.
It doesn't say live, it says scheduled.
It says live right now on mine.
Well, never mind about.
Something's happening. Also, the internet is going wiggity woggity. Yeah, it says we're live with the viewer, at least one.
All right, perfect. Never mind.
All of that is scripted, is what you guys don't know. That's all built into the document there. I'm accompanied, as always, by my co-host, Mr. Scott Fox, and we may or may not be in the Matrix currently.
We are.
Yeah, and we also have we're all late. The internet's been real weird. Social medias are down. The Armageddon's among us. But we have a number 3 to this trifecta of hosts here on the show, and that is my good buddy, Sean Moonblade, just waking up from last night on our speakeasy.
I got coffee. Yay.
I'm jealous. I could use one of those.
I've repositioned myself. It's not my normal. So I got Venom in the background in case we want to talk about the first Venom movie.
Oh, perfect.
Nice.
That'd be a funny copyright, just like off in the back corner of the screen.
We got you for this little 1-inch square in the background.
Well, yeah. Okay. Jake,
if the video gets taken down, I'll stop playing it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jake, for confirmation.
Perfect.
The internet works. What's up, Jake?
Well, yeah, some of it works. It's partially working.
Hi, Scott. Nice to see you again, bud.
Nice to see you, Sean. Great work on the both last week and this last night. You guys are.
We had no control over last night. Last night we just let
things happen. It's okay.
That's what happened. Yeah, basically.
But Sean did a great job with those overlays.
I can make some new ones too if you like them.
Awesome. Possibly. Well, what Scott introduced last week that I thought was a lot of fun is some impromptu trivia to kind of warm us all up before we get cracking into the show and getting into our topics and plugging all the good stuff that we got to do. I would love to bring Sean on with that. Sean also already got a bit of what I'm bringing to the table today, so when we get there, he's not allowed to answer anything. We will bring Scott by. Scott, what do you have for us? Warm us up.
So in classic trivia style, you don't know the category until I tell you. And today's category is alter egos. Jesse, I know this is a specialty for you. And almost everything I'm listing is movie-based. There is one that I can't recall a movie the character's been in. But so you might have to go to your video game / comic book repertoire to pull it. But I will tell you the alter ego. As an example, I'll say Wade Wilson. You have to tell me Deadpool. So I'll tell you their real name. You tell me who they are. Are you guys prepared?
Yeah. Is this just...
I don't have a whiteboard. I'm going to write on my phone.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
Oh, if you want to bust out a whiteboard, we'll go official. We're pretty loosey-goosey around here, but I'm also curious. Please also make sure you turn off your comments so that anybody commenting in the chat can.
Let me go into the private. Chat.
That way nobody steals the thunder from you.
Yes, feel free to play along. What's up, Maddie? What's up, Jake? You guys play along too.
All right. Your first character is John Henry Irons. I'll give you 10 seconds.
This is the worst. It's like you know what?
It's a classic. It's a cinematic classic.
Indeed.
Sure.
All right. Let's see what you got, Swift, because you're chuckling about it.
Well, dip me in shit and roll me in breadcrumbs. That would be steel.
Ooh, that is correct. Sean, what'd you have?
Is that a comment from the movie?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I should probably watch
it. And you both get it. All right, congratulations. All right, next on the list is Walter Kovacs. Walter Kovacs. Ooh,
you got a stumper. I don't know.
And no, Tom Selleck is not the answer, Maddie.
I have no clue.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. This, ladies and gentlemen, would be... sorry, give you a chance. What'd you even write down? Go ahead, Sean.
I don't want to. Bishop. I just said one.
Okay.
Just said the name.
All right. Jesse?
I thought it was like the living something, but
Well, kind of. It's Rorschach.
oh, that's wow.
Congratulations.
I thought of a Watchman at first, but then I went against my gut. But I wasn't thinking Rorschach.
By the way, Watchmen is a masterpiece. Love that movie.
I like it.
I still gotta watch the show. Gotta get around to that.
Oh, the show's
Now,
good.
Jesse, please know that this is a bit of... this is just playing to you on this next one, because I didn't know Sean was going to be here, and I thought this would just be a treat for you, and I'm sure you'll get it. But Langdon Everett Call.
You're so sure I would get that?
Oh, I was confident, but this may have been a stumper for you.
Yeah, way to throw it up like it's going to be a softball.
Please know that when I tell you who this is, you will kick yourself, Jesse.
Can I just hear the name one more time?
Langdon Everett Call. It's so hard with some of these because, and Call is Caul, by the way, Call. It's really hard with some of these because they don't really list in a lot of these movies what their actual names are. You just know them by their character.
Right.
Oh my gosh, Goose.
All right. 5.
This is supposed to be like mental warm-ups, and you're like, I'm going to devastate your brain before this podcast begins.
2.
You thought you knew geeky shit. Well, guess what?
1. All right. Sean, since you're already done writing, you go first.
The Lone Ranger.
Ooh.
That's
no,
a
there's
good
not the
guess.
Lone Ranger.
Sounds right.
Right.
Jesse, what do you have?
Pooh, as in Winnie the.
It is Abe Sapien.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Abe Sapien.
I thought Abe
Langdon Everett
Sapien was
Call.
named Abe Sapien. That's what it was in the movie.
He is Abe Sapien or Abraham Sapien, but his name actually is Langdon Everett Call.
How deep?
Congratulations
for that.
Listen, I looked up a lot of different
You know what,
characters
Scott?
from movies.
Go home, Scott.
This one, and I'm sorry, some of these are, again, in the movies they do call him Abe Sapien, but he does have a real name also.
I believe you.
Well, Scott froze because he broke the internet.
So
There he is. Nope, there he went.
We're all frozen for a second. Are we all back?
You're back.
Well,
Okay. Cyrus Gold.
Cyrus.
Gold.
Are these all comic books
They are
or movies?
hero movie characters. This is the one that I told you I don't know if actually has been properly represented in the movie. So it might go comic book / video game because he has been in games.
Wait. No. I'm just going to go with my first dumb answer.
I got nothing. I have no clue.
All right.
I want to redo all of mine now because I gave you like 6 softballs. And... so I'm coming in hot next week, Scott.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I fully.
And if Sean's got time, hopefully he'll come up with something too.
I fully earned a beatdown for coming up with this list. It is Solomon Grundy.
Oh no!
Grundy.
I tried. I heard the name Gold.
Booster Gold. Okay.
The first thing I was thinking was John Malkovich from Con Air.
Oh man,
that's why I asked if it was all comic books or not.
Goldfinger, Gold Member.
Oh, you could have gone a lot of places there, but no, it is Solomon Grundy. All right, this one I believe is the hardest one of the group.
Oh, shut up,
Sal Bertolini. Sal Bertolini. And I'll go ahead and give you a hint. It's from a movie sequel.
What decade?
I believe this was the sequel. This movie came out in 2013, I believe. I think the original came out 2 or maybe 3 years earlier, so 2010, 2011. Sal Bertolini.
Okay.
All right, Sean, go for it.
I couldn't remember if it was Red Fury or Red Mist.
Ooh, no.
No?
Good guesses, though. Jesse, what'd you put?
You're thinking of Red Mist, and I was thinking the same thing because in the sequel it's the MFer.
Oh, yes.
But I don't think that's right. But we were
It
thinking
is
the same thing.
Colonel Stars and Stripes.
Oh.
We were
Kick-Ass
right.
2.
We were right there. We were right there.
So
The
close.
right
I
movie.
picked
So
up
close.
all the hints, and then
Yes.
I did not remember those.
You were right there.
Now
All
I
right,
gotta check
last
the
one.
comments and see how dumb I. Oh no, we got one more.
One last question. This one is not a superhero, but it is out of one of the best movies ever made.
We failed.
Verbal Kint. Who is he actually?
Is it
Verbal Kent.
Verbal Kint.
I gotta remember how to spell.
Oh, spelling is waived in this, by the way. Sean, I feel like he knew this one.
I knew this one. I watched half of this movie once.
Oh well, that means mine's incorrect.
Okay, so Sean, tell him who it is.
Kaiser Soze from
It
The
is
Usual Suspects.
Kaiser Soze, and it's Soze on Soze, and it's Keyser. But either way, it is Kaiser Soze. Jesse, what'd you write?
You're telling me it's not Morpheus.
It is not Morpheus. It's Kaiser Soze. So Sean wins 2-1.
Out of what, 8
Steel
questions?
was the only one you both got out of 6 questions.
Get it. The first one.
Yeah, you guys got Steel, and then Sean brought it home with Kaiser Soze. By the way, Usual Suspects, still one of the greatest movies of all time. And I've seen it probably 20 times. It's really hard to find a flaw in that movie.
Well,
They cover all the holes.
this show saved me from watching X-Men Apocalypse, which is what I was doing prior to hopping on here. So
There you go.
it was all downhill from The Usual Suspects.
Yes. Well, the X-Men Apocalypse is this is a better use of your time.
Yes, yes.
Ironically, both Bryan Singer films.
Yes, exactly. That's what it meant.
There you go. Well, I'm going to quickly run through these because I ran through them with Sean as a little trial last night with the Speakeasy.
Now
But
you
I
say
have-
softballs, but I might just get clobbered here.
Here's my guess. You will get bare minimum 4 of 6.
Okay.
But I think you might go perfect, possibly. We're going to see here. All right. So your hint for categories is items/artifacts.
Oh,
have 6 here.
yes.
All right. So number 1, again, feel free to play along in the chat, everybody. The
Sorry, I had to put
Damon,
myself to private. Sorry.
the Damon-ritis. This is my favorite one that's on here. I gotta be honest.
The Damon Ritis?
We
Dude,
ran through
I'm
these
down.
last night, and I don't remember.
Oh my gosh.
Didn't you get? Oh no, Maxwell's the only person to get it last night.
Yeah, I think he was. I had a
In
guess.
5,
Is this the
4,
last witch hunter?
3,
Oh my
2,
gosh.
and
What is it?
1. Scooby-Doo.
Yes, that's what it was.
Just go ahead and pound this in sideways. Scooby-Doo. Is it the first Scooby-Doo?
Yeah, it's the good one.
Oh my
The Damon-ritis,
The
the
good
little
one.
little pyramid thing that opens up. That
Island of
absorbs the
Monsters
souls.
wasn't good.
But you mean that was the Island of Monsters? I mean, it didn't have a
Oh,
title, but there
I
was.
don't remember.
You're thinking of Monsters Unleashed as the second
Monsters
one,
Unleashed. That's right.
which yeah, was pretty trash. All right, Scott, you are dismissed from the channel if you missed this one. You ready?
Go for it.
The 5 Sankara stones. Uh-oh.
5 Sankara stones.
Some
Oh
might
no,
say-
I'll gladly relieve myself. What? Hold on a second. I know this.
No.
5 Sankara stones.
Do you want a hint?
I had a hint ready.
No, is this National Treasure 2?
No.
No. This is. Oh my goodness.
But
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
there you go.
There
buddy.
you go. Get there.
I'm thinking way too current, and I know.
Yeah.
Wow! I can't
Well
believe
done.
I almost missed that.
Well done.
I was gonna say 1980s.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I was just gonna say you might say
Now-
it belong in the museum.
Before Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, this was the least of the three. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull doesn't belong in the movie franchise, and then we'll see what they do with this fifth one. But Temple of Doom is my least of the three originals.
And before we go on really quick, I will say for anyone watching, if you guys want to suggest other things that like tackles that we could topic. Exactly.
Yes.
That's what I meant to say.
Tackles we like to topic.
Drop it down in the Streamlabs and let us know, and then we can come up with new lists. We can test each other. I love that Scott came up with this. This has become like one of my new favorite segments of the show, even though we're almost 20 minutes in and we haven't done topics yet. So it might take some adjusting. But anyways, please throw that in there. Okay, just a couple more. Let's blitz through them. Number 3, Gray's 1950 to 2000 Sports Almanac.
That's Back to the Future 2.
Yes, correct. There you go. Easy. All right. This is from a franchise, the Necronomicon.
That is Army of Darkness / Evil Dead.
Yeah, there you go. Number 5.
I've never seen that.
Really?
And none of them. I've never seen any of them.
Can I tell you what got me into Evil Dead? Honestly, was the Ash vs. Evil Dead show, which is on Netflix. You don't have to have seen the movie because they catch you up on it. It's so hilarious.
I'll just say this. I was a sucker when DVDs first came out because I'm that old. I was a sucker. The very first DVD I bought was a director's cut limited edition. There's only 30,000 copies were made of Army of Darkness in a gold case. And I still have that. And I ended up, by the time I was done, with 4 versions of Army of Darkness because they were all different director cut, bootleg cuts. And they just kept re-releasing it with that new footage.
They have great cover art, too.
Yes. All right. One's a brown paper bag.
All right. For your credit as a father, number 5, The Heart of Tafiti.
That is Moana.
There you go.
Moana.
All right.
Make way.
Moana.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. We're all just going to break into some Moana karaoke.
You know, I've been staring at the edge of the water.
Hey, I mean, what can I say? You're welcome.
As long as I can remember.
All right. Easy softball for number 6, The God Killer Sword.
That is going to be Wonder Woman.
Yes.
The first Wonder Woman.
See, I think you got
but little did she know it wasn't the sword that was the God Killer. It was her. Boy, what a fall off from number 1 to number 2. But anyways.
You can defeat the mustache all by yourself. All right, so let's get into topics. But before we do that, quick message from me and the channel. We really want to grow this channel and devote more time and energy into making informative and entertaining content. And this can be achieved most simply by taking a second to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Just make sure to hit the bell icon. That way you never miss a new upload, like right now. We almost missed our own upload, so that was something. Secondly, our dream does not stop at 150 subscribers. Obviously, that would be pretty sad. But that's about where we're at right now. We want to get about another 30-something, get to 200. That would be awesome. Podcasting, what we love to do. I'd love to have more shows, but to do that, I have to justify it with money. So subs helps with that. Your donations will help immensely with building this space into a geek-speaking utopia. So, great. With that out of the way.
Quick note, because of social media being trash today.
I want you to like this video, click the subscribe button, and share with your friends. All right, thank you. I'm out of here.
I don't know what that was.
I love the kind of the New York Northeast accent you threw in there. Very classy.
Me? I don't know. God?
Because social media wasn't working. Normally you text or send me a Facebook message with the Streamlabs. I had to go old school. I had to open it up on my cell phone and then type in the URL on my computer in order to get it to work.
I texted Jesse back. I was like, no, dude, send it to me on Facebook. He goes, it's not working. Yeah. If only there was a way we could email it to each other instead of Facebook.
It's just hilarious that I actually thought that I'm like, I should ask him to email it so that I can click the link as opposed to just typing it. And then I thought to myself, and I messed it up twice because I kept putting an S on StreamYard.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, no, just email. I'm like, oh, it's only like 7 letters for it's not a long it's not like 27 things long. Okay. It
wasn't a code / code / login / It was just that.
This guy.
Speaking of URLs that aren't that long, it's very easy to click, put that link down on the bottom into your address bar and then donate to the channel. It's not that hard.
It's not too difficult.
Cool. I've done it before.
Scott, tell me you're drinking straight moonshine out of the mason jar. It's just 100 proof.
Or is it Granny's peach tea?
It is. Oh dear goodness! No, this is classic well water, as fresh as it can get.
I'm assuming that's Scott. That's got to be all you, buddy.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's all this guy.
Yeah, please. Can you have it braided next week? Just offer it to like different.
I like to mess with my wife and remind her that this is my actual jawline, and this is what I would normally look like if I lopped it off. This gives me extra face.
Does she ever try to just like support your chin and just whiff it and miss it and just stab you in the throat? Doesn't know.
No. She just goes full force punch, 1-inch Bruce Lee punch to the throat. I'm getting mouthy.
I meant to do that.
one punch man to your throat.
Mine used to be that long. I haven't grown it back out though since I started getting grays in here, so I might end up doing that too. We'll be twins. Go for it.
Hey guys,
I had two nice stripes, but then they slowly started to just pan out to the full thing.
We have topics today.
What?
Yeah, I just
things happen.
Back to facial hair.
Yeah.
Have you seen the UFC referee that braids his down? They go down to like his belly button, and he tucks them into his polo shirt when he's reffing fights.
Yep,
it's awesome.
That guy's had those for years. Of course, to get them that length, you have to have it for years.
Oh yeah, it looks like Yosemite Sam without a cowboy hat on.
I'm sorry, Jesse. You mentioned things happened movie-wise this week.
I mean, it was a stretch. I had to work for it. We were this close to having an Ask Me Anything episode. And if you guys still want to do that, light up the comments and the donations and things, and that might still happen. We're just going to run for an hour and see what happens. But we have some stuff that we can talk about.
Ask me about Venom.
Yeah. How's Venom in the background? Worse than the second.
Best way to watch it.
Yeah, best way to watch it is not at all.
Background noise.
Yeah.
We're not quite there though. We'll really quickly, because Scott, I'm going to throw it out there. Probably haven't seen last week's What If.
I did. I stayed up late last night and I caught up on all the What If. I am so pumped to talk What If because that episode was. Let's just move past. Hey, congrats! Something. We knew that Scarlett Johansson was going to get paid out of court. They were never going to allow it to go to a full lawsuit. They were going to pay her off. That happened. So, congrats! We all knew it.
Check. Scott just saved us 15 minutes.
Yes, we're moved past that.
It's in the title. We got to spend more than 15 seconds. No, okay. Let's talk about What If.
You sent me show notes. I just saw the text.
It's weird that I did that since I just now discovered that we had notes. I don't know how that happened.
You sent that to me while I was driving. I wasn't paying attention.
You should always be looking at your phone while driving.
100%. So my car is weird, and if I get a text, it'll pop up and on my dash. It'll say, "Oh, you got a text." I'm like, "Cool, all right." But then it clears the notification from my actual phone. So if I get any text while driving, I don't know about them unless I happen to go back into the Messenger app and look manually. It doesn't tell me, even though I didn't check it yet. It's really stupid. I've missed so much.
What if it didn't do that?
Right.
Speaking of, Scott.
Hold on a second. Alex had a great comment.
Oh.
Get that money, ScarJo. She's right on. Scarlett Johansson committed over a decade of her life to that character, to building it. Finally got a movie post-mortem, and then they released it out. They were in violation of a lot of the contract, things like that. We all knew they were going to pay her off. I'm glad that it's settled. We don't have to hear about it in the news cycle anymore.
I will say we're not going to do spoiler talk here, but in reflection of Alex's comment, I'll say it's kind of like Green Lantern. I think the best part of Green Lantern is the post-credit scene. Because
I'm still waiting for Mark Strong as Sinestro, and I will wait until it happens.
Maybe the Flash.
Of course, I don't have an option.
Point movie will bring it in.
It seems like they're bringing everything else in. And apparently now they're doing a spin-off HBO Max show with the new Supergirl that's going to be in that movie. I was like, so you're going to have two Supergirl shows going on simultaneously?
No, the other Supergirl's ending. They just
that's right. That's true. That's
Warner Brothers And DC once again are just throwing everything they have at everything all the time, hoping something works. Not taking any notes from how Marvel has cultivated a culture and a whole entire actual cinematic universe. Marvel is just like, or Warner and DC are like, oh, this is a property, throw it in, everything, chuck it all.
Speaking of Black Widow, what's funny is we were in Target yesterday, and up here somewhere we have like the whole Infinity Saga, all the Marvel movies, and Lauren just bought Black Widow, and so she went to put it up on the shelf, and she's like, wow, I am just now setting this up here, realizing how long it took them to make this movie. Because it's just like you see all the films before, and you know how early on she was introduced.
Yeah,
it's so sad for that character. She deserved better treatment for that character. For the movie was good, but her character and her as an actress deserved better treatment from the way they handled that for Disney.
Well, I will say on the note of there's an article I was reading that said what could have been partially responsible, or at least a good argument for Black Widow, is how well Shang-Chi did, being a theatrically only released film, and a lesser known character that's not been with us for a decade, and so she can just go, Exhibit A, give me my money.
Yeah, but they paid her. I'm sure she was. I didn't see anything released. I'm sure it's been sealed up exactly what quantity of dollars they gave her. But
I have not been able to find that anywhere. But by her demeanor, I'm guessing it was a dump truck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
they're testing the symbiote on the lady behind you, and she's having a seizure, like she's been needs an exorcism, and it was throwing me off for a second. Sorry, sidebar.
But most of the other contracts that we have heard about or know about, it's always like $5 million up front and then like X percentage, so they end up making $60 million on the movie or something. I'd imagine that they probably came to some sort of level of fairness from other payouts, and just like here's what we'll agree to meet somewhere in the middle.
It's true. I mean, respect doesn't mean you have to love something, but they have been rather tenacious, just a little bit directionless, without direction in their tenacity. But I also respect it, appreciate it. Hopefully we get more good stuff.
I would agree with that sentiment, Alex, if that was their intention. I don't think that they tried to do that. I think they tried to make a shared universe and failed miserably.
I think she's talking about the Batmans and the Jokers of the world.
Yes, now maybe, but I mean, because we're still in the DCEU, right?
That's true.
Because we have an Aquaman 2 coming out. We have the same Flash, Ezra Miller, playing another, but then we also have the Batman. So I don't think their intention originally was to make these disconnected things. It just happened because the movies didn't meld together, and they forced them in. And I wish they had a better plan. They have not yet put in a figurehead such as a Kevin Feige type, creator to meld them all together. Or we don't know about it.
Like the yogurt.
You see, it's Feige, but he just turns his hat backwards and puts on some glasses, so you can't tell. It's actually
It's like Fiji. It's just Fiji.
I'm going to say it differently every time, just because I don't want it to be right. Because I personally love DC more than Marvel. Whoa, look out. I don't want to catch anything. But I've been sorely disappointed by the fact that he has cultivated this amazing conglomerate.
Before you do anything, I need you to like this video, click the subscribe button, and share with your friends. All right,
perfect on the shut up timing. But because they have not put somebody over the top of all of it, and the people they attempted to do didn't know how to handle the franchises. They didn't know how to handle the commodities. All they wanted to do was play catch up in 2 movies, and so they jammed everything into 2 massive movies, and then the second one they chopped it into trash. Yeah. Yes, exactly, Alex. Throw 10 darts on the board and see what sticks.
Yeah,
that's all they did. So, the Joker with Joaquin Phoenix was a beautifully done movie.
Mm-hmm. And really I only needed to watch it once.
Yeah.
I watched it twice in theaters because I'm a glutton for punishment.
Do you want to hug?
So, after that, I'm always up for a hug. But so okay, off of that, I finally got with What If so that I could be a part of this conversation today. And boy, what I tuned into the right episode. I got myself caught up.
Where had you left off, and how many did you have to binge through?
All of them last night.
All of them. What,
yeah, I only caught. I'll be honest. I was watching them kind of half distracted. So last night last night was the 8th episode. So I watched them all last night. It took like 4 hours and powered through. Mm-hmm. And the leave off here is incredible. They did find a way to kill Tony Stark again. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Ultron.
Well, what's really interesting, did you guys hear about because there's supposed to be 10 episodes this season, and then because of COVID and stuff, they had to push production of one into the next, but they had already started doing some drawing stuff, even so much so that there's a Lego set coming out. It wasn't going to be the 10th episode. It was going to be like one of the last 4 mixed in there, making it 10 episodes. But it was what happens if Tony Stark ended up on Sakaar. And my first thought is, I don't know, but I'm sure he would have died.
Yeah, no kidding. But this episode of What If Ultron won? Holy mackerel. Mm-hmm. I love that the way he starts conquering everything when Thanos comes in and he's like, ooh, that's pretty. And he just slices him in half, takes the Infinity Gems and just, oh, sorry. You might want to throw that up for anybody.
Too late. Make a new spoiler tag.
There you go.
It was the best episode of the series so far for me. And having, I had just been binging them, so I was kind of fatigued. And that one got me back awake, like, holy crap, this is awesome. But then also tying in with The Watcher and seeing all of that. And kind of, it feels like this, and I love that it's now a 2-part episode. But to see Armin Zola coming in and how they laid the groundwork for the next episode of, you're going to have the mental match of Zola versus Ultron.
Well, the beginning action beats with and I appreciated that, there's been a one-armed Hawkeye in a post-apocalyptic wasteland in the comics before. They also they like to take the arms off their archers, because there's a one-armed Green Arrow in the Dark Knight Returns storyline. But I thought that was cool, giving him a metal arm, just missing Spider-Man and be like, dude, you got a metal arm? Everyone's got a metal arm.
The bad humor when he goes to get up and he's like, don't say it, and she's like, need a hand? Just some of those things are just cheesy, they're stupid, they're exactly the joke you wanted in that moment.
Right.
The relationship between them, and this time they flip the script where he sacrifices.
Yeah.
Spoilers, by the way.
You know what that reminded me of, though? I saw it coming a mile away, and it reminded me of them killing Kirk in Into Darkness just to do the opposite. And I was like, come on. But I want to comment on what Alex is saying here, because if I'm being honest, I dislike more of What If than I do like. There's good stuff in there. There's stuff that's definitely a highlight. The T'Challa episode's flawless. It's absolutely fantastic. But the killing off the Avengers, the Hank Pym one, the twist of it being Hank Pym, I liked. Everything leading up to it, where they blew Hulk up like a balloon and he went into a cloud of smoke, and everything was so anticlimactic. And they're like, look, Tony's poisoned, and they're just like, bab, 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 bab. And the Killmonger episode, it was basically the same story, except for he just got
he went a different
faster.
route there.
Yeah, he went a different route. And I was like, that's not that exciting. It's exciting when you give us something that is completely and wholly different, like Ultron winning and going into different universes, or Doctor Strange going down a completely different path because Christine keeps dying. That's the stuff that I really liked in this series. But Agent Carter was fun, but it didn't present us with anything that new. There's the more different, I think, the better.
I agree. Overall, most of the episodes that's why I was kind of getting fatigued and I was lacking paying attention to a lot of the episodes.
What was Party Thor?
Yeah,
what was the point of that?
Right. Most of it was what was the point of that. The T'Challa episode where he plays Star-Lord, and suddenly he's a cool hip Star-Lord, and everyone loves him, and he's doing all these amazing things. I thought that was a pretty decent episode. The Captain Carter was all right. It was pretty good as a first off for the series, but then kind of as you touched on, we hit this muddy spot where it's just like, okay, that was hard to suffer through 3 of those episodes.
Zombies was kind of wasted potential.
Oh yeah, no, it didn't leave. It could have been so much better, but This last one, I was actually interested in this one because it also tied in a little bit with the King the Conqueror, where he's monitoring multiverse all at the same time, watching everything, and then Ultron busts in. Well, now does that throw everything out? And the multiverse, is Ultron in charge of the multiverse? It was an idea that was so much better, and he was killing off planet after planet. I love when it shows him huge, devouring it like a Galactus type of character.
I love that. I was like,
even his helmet looked like a Galactus helmet. Like the way his eyes, the helmet was all shaped. Essentially, Ultron became Galactus, starts doing all this, blows up Ego, killing, just mowing down the universe. And when he figures out that he could break through the wall, and then his battle with the Watcher, it's just that made me so excited for this next bit. And then the Watcher having to use restraint not to interfere and doing everything that he could not to impose his will on the storyline was... I really like this one, and it made me excited for the next episode, whereas the other episodes were all disconnected, and I felt like, well, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, this one's supposed to kind of like wrap everything all together. I love the way it ended with us getting Demon Strange, and he's had time to reflect and be on his own in his little like corner of the destroyed universe.
Well, I love when he asks, "Are you ready to admit it? That I need your help?"
Yeah.
Yes. Like Strange is knowing this is all going to happen, meaning that he's tied in to the multiverse as well. He knows all of this stuff was coming. All of it. This episode really did a lot to redeem the series, because most of it, I think the premise was better than the payoff.
Yes, I agree with that. Like I said, ups and downs, more lows than highs, but a premise that could get me back next season, because it's kind of one of those things that are so easily digestible. If you have a disappointing 25 minutes, you're like, okay, whatever, move on.
Not the end of the world.
No. Any other, Sean, did you have any thoughts that you wanted to share about this episode of What If? I think Scott said most of my thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, to speak a little bit to what Alex said led to the idea of the show, but they're just too similar to the films. I don't think that the point of the show is not to tell new stories necessarily. The point of the show is to tell what if the same story slightly had a different course. So it's not like they're advertising one thing and giving us something different. They're giving us what they said the show was going to be.
I don't want to speak for Alex, but I think it's some people, I think me included, feel like it lacks ambition in its like in what it is telling us. Like the what if, like it seems more exciting when like one singular point diverges and causes something completely different to happen. Mm-hmm. Like I thought the Killmonger Tony thing was an interesting idea. Mm-hmm. They just didn't really go enough different places with it. Yeah,
Killmonger's path didn't alter. He still was on the same path.
Stop putting people down like chumps. They put T'Challa down like a chump in that episode, and I'm still cranky about it.
Yeah,
and they killed Claw again. I was like, can Andy Serkis survive in a universe, please? Freaking Caesar, Gollum, Claw.
By the way, his death in Lord of the Rings was the most noble, right? Sauron's not defeated without Gollum and his overtly excessive celebration. So
yes,
give him a break.
But I don't think that I think this might end up being one of the type of shows where you don't appreciate the previous episodes until we see the final product, because it's leading to next week or this week, I guess tomorrow. What day is it? Monday. 2 days from now is episode when I think they're going to bring the Guardians of the Multiverse together. The Watcher's going to go pick all these heroes that we have left living in these various worlds. And so maybe we'll go and appreciate some of the characters like Party Thor. Maybe he'll do something to win us over in this next show, etc. That I don't think we'll know till the end.
No, totally. That would be the best tie-in, because right now, again, we've mentioned it. It's all disconnected.
Yeah,
it's all conjointed. And if that's the case, what is the point? And if they don't bring it all together, that really even feeds more of what was the point.
Yeah.
And granted, I do like the premise of just a kind of an alternate reality type of thing, but if they are able to bring some of those characters and unite them, and we see T'Challa as Star-Lord mixed in with Agent Carter, mixed in with Party Thor, and mixed in with Zombie, all tied in to try and help finish it out. cool.
I will say I appreciate Party Thor getting his ass handed to him though.
Yeah,
that was a good time.
I really can I just say I really enjoyed the Collector with all his tools in that second episode.
He was like the new Mad Titan.
Dude, he was like, well, and the Mad Titan was suddenly like, "Oh, I've come to rest with my feelings." And at the end, he's like, "No, that's still genocide." No, but you haven't heard it from this angle. Like, let me try and sell it again. Still sounds like genocide.
Sounds like genocide. And then they treated him like a complete bitch, holding 5 of the fucking Infinity Stones just got cut in half by the Mind Stone.
Well, his flesh wasn't covered.
Well, Ultron's not afraid to use it, whereas Vision is trying to wield it wisely, and Ultron's like, I can kill people with this.
Yeah.
That's all I needed.
It's true. Element of surprise, I suppose.
That was the most my jaw dropped in the entirety of What If so far. Was Thanos just getting jumped.
It was so fast. It was just like, hey, there's Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. He needs 1 stone left. Boom, dead.
I loved the whole fight sequence between the Watcher and Ultra Vision. And I want more of that somehow, and maybe a different story, not even Marvel. Like, give me a new Dragon Ball, give me a new this or that or whatever. Some other story, in that type of fighting. It was fantastic. I loved it. I loved the whole action sequence.
Scott, looking to move on here. You have not seen Let There Be Carnage yet, correct?
You mean the movie that should have gone straight to VHS? No, not yet. No, I haven't seen it yet. And I'll just say Venom 1 was better than I thought it would be, but I had low expectations. I have low expectations for this one too, so who knows?
Well, then it also might be better than... Yeah, you might be pleasantly surprised then.
100%.
I had very low expectations for Venom because I thought the trailer looks like a travesty, the first one. And by the way, if you guys hop on our audio podcast that you can find on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all that good stuff, there's a 10-minute Let There Be Carnage review on there. So check that out. I was so not interested when I saw the first Let There Be Carnage trailer because it looked like they leaned into everything about the first movie, but worse. And they did lean into everything about the first movie, but I don't think it was worse. I think people are kind of on the fence on whether or not they prefer it to the first one. But I wasn't angry leaving. That's my review in a nutshell. Sean, I always interrupt you when you want to talk about this movie, so I'm going to let you take it for a little bit. A little compare and contrast. How'd you feel about the first Venom? Do you recommend seeing this one? Is it an improvement? Does it deserve to be opening up to $90 million domestically and just smashing pandemic records?
I mean, what did the first movie make? Like 800 or something? It made... There's an audience for it. And it would be a shame, and I don't know, we could Google it and find out, what was the last Spider-Man movie? How much did it make? Did it make over $1 billion? Like 1.2 or something, if I'm remembering
right?
I
think Far From Home was the first Spider-Man film to crack $1 billion.
Okay, because in what world does Spider-Man make less money than Venom? Why? Especially a movie without the quality behind it, in my opinion, than the Spider-Man movies. This movie is exactly more of the same. So if you had low expectations, Scott, of the first one, and they exceeded or give you a mild smile walking out of the theater, this movie will be exactly more of the same. I'd say better CG graphics mixed in, because you got Andy Serkis working on stuff, and honestly, some of the CG scenes, without spoiling what's happening, but they're Ravencroft and stuff like that. Like that whole sequence, the carnage of it all was, I loved it. It looked so realistic and really good. But this was the longest 90-minute movie I've ever felt like I've sat through. I was like, oh, okay, we're still in here, still doing this. It just slogged and felt like it was longer than it was. Overall, go see it, or wait for it to come out. If you felt the same, if you felt in the first one that you were happy you saw it in theaters, then go see this one in theaters, because the bigger screen will do you well. But if you could have waited for the first one to come at home, then just wait. It's not a huge deal.
Things that I would say are improvements. I think the Eddie Venom relationship in this is improved, or at least it's more entertaining. I laugh more often. The villain, not far and away, but is improved because Riz Ahmed is one of the worst things I've seen in the last 15 years for comic book films. The action
he's gonna eat a lobster.
Oh, there isn't a lobster scene, unfortunately, but there is Venom at a rave, so you get to swap that in. Scott, for somebody who hasn't seen it that might one day see it, is there any questions that you would want answered or curiosities that you have about how plot was handled, if Andy Serkis appears to be more competent director? Because this is my first Serkis film. I didn't see Mowgli or the other, I think he did a romantic comedy or something.
I'll be honest. I think this is one that I just need to see. My biggest fear is that the whole Woody Harrelson as Carnage thing would just be not scary, like almost cheesy, instead of Carnage being as dangerous and as intimidating and scaring as he actually is. And with Venom, he's the same way, but they found a way to kind of mix some humor in, and it's more the humor is how he picks on Eddie. Yeah. Like he makes fun of Eddie a little bit, and it's almost like Eddie's got self-deprecating humor built in. And my concern or wonder is, how do they treat the relationship between Carnage and Woody Harrelson's character? And so that was, I guess, my biggest thing is, like, I was afraid it was just going to be extra dumb.
To me, without getting into it too much, I don't feel like they give Carnage an opportunity to have a personality or background that Venom does. Venom has a personality. Yeah. Carnage exists. Like, he almost doesn't seem like he's separate from Cletus, except for like a little bit towards the end.
You get a little bit of dialogue where they're obviously differing, but yeah, I agree with that. He doesn't have time to grow, and it's because it's not his movie, and you don't see him right away. It takes time to get to Carnage, right? So he hasn't had a whole movie and then his sequel to build the character and the personality of like Venom, because the movie is about, it's a love story between Venom and Eddie, right? It's their bro fest, right? Trying to learn to live together. So it's kind of them. That's the point of the movie.
Which is a great way to pick up the character arc and storyline for that combination. Is you want that to see natural progression in the second movie. You don't want to see them kind of rehashing any of that early stuff. And that's a good point about Carnage, that he's got a limited window where we're exposed to him. So, but just as a note, I looked up the top all-time grossing movies worldwide, and somehow Venom is number 77. It's in the top 100 movies all time.
Wow.
Well, if we're being fair, I think 90% of the top 100 came out in like the last 15 years.
True.
Because big box office and stuff, that started becoming more and more constant. And I bet all or almost all MCU films are in that top 100, and that's like a fifth of the list.
Yeah, almost everything's within the last decade or pretty close to it, other than Titanic still squatting there at number 3 all time from 1997.
So this is built with inflation then, if they got like Gone with the Wind.
This doesn't have for inflation yet. No, I'm not looking at that stat. Titanic just did over $2 billion without inflation.
So what's Force Awakens and Endgame? Are those the 1 and 2?
Number 1 is Avatar. Number 2 is Endgame, and then Force Awakens 4.
I forgot Avatar was a thing.
Force Awakens holds
Infinity War. Infinity War. So Infinity War, Endgame, Titanic, Force Awakens, and Avatar are the only 5 that have cracked the $2 billion mark.
I wish Disney really got what it deserves.
And
really wish they got that money that it deserves.
Right under there, I think at number 6 is a VHS recording of my 6th birthday.
Yes. Jurassic World is number 6. Congratulations, your favorite Jurassic Park movie, correct?
I'm going to get out of here.
That's weird. That's how I got kicked off the show.
Yeah, that's how it happened.
That's my number 2 out of the 5. I
also enjoy Jurassic World, Sean. So
I had a point, but I forgot it because we started talking about money.
I'm glad you started sharing. Speaking of money, I think
hold on.
No, well, I had a transition now.
You plug it enough. Go donate down here.
That's actually not what I was going to do. The next topic is about money, but that's
the movie was short. The movie was like 96 minutes or something like that. You could tell just from the transitions there were some deleted scenes that where you're like, oh, we just jumped from boom boom boom.
Transitions where we're going, we don't need transitions.
And there was
this is Sony.
There was some missing dialogue, and I wonder if there was more. And that was just the noticeable stuff. I wonder if there was more deleted stuff with Carnage that maybe could have built out the character a little more and his personality. So I'd be interested to see whatever deleted scenes might come out on a home release later on.
Yeah, and it's already rated R, so you can't think they had to delete scenes for pushing
PG-13.
Yeah, I was
PG-13. I wonder if that's what.
Yeah,
if they chopped it for the R rating.
There's a lot of things that feel like they were supposed to be more brutal than they were. Like things that like from surface level seem really brutal, real nasty, but they just like, G-rate it.
This is like a Deadpool type of character. You just can't do the character justice in a rating. You're not doing the treatment that it deserves in a PG-13 because you have to cut so much of what that character is really about.
Joey's back with the emotes. What's up, buddy? Thanks for stopping by. I don't know what those are. Is he just
somebody going like this? All right. Well, I was bringing up money because Dune tickets for Dune go on sale today. And I had a question for you guys because we've heard a lot about what it's doing internationally. We're looking at movies like Shang-Chi, Venom, Black Widow, No Time to Die. We're starting to expect that. What do you think Dune can do opening weekend, damage-wise? What are we expecting? It's a little heady. It's from Denis Villeneuve, who his movies aren't always financial successes, even though they're critically well-reviewed. Do we think this is something that's going to reach the masses? Is it going to go over a lot of heads? I think there's a lot of things in the air, but I'm curious what you think and if you got your ticket yet, because I did.
No and yes and not yet.
Perfect.
Following the questions real quick.
You asked, is it something, what did you say? Is it something people want, or is it going to go over a lot of heads? It's not something I think a lot of people want. I think it's going to be niche and it's going to go over a lot of people. Not to say I want it to do that. I think it's a huge epic and it'd be great if it made money, but 2049 did not. It was playing off a niche cult classic movie, not an all-time box office earner that
exactly
people want. And so it makes me wonder how good this is going to, from the same director. I'm going to go see it. I'm interested. I had to check my phone to see if I responded to my group text about getting tickets because they went on sale. I'm like, wait, did I say yes? Yes. Count me in. I'm down to go see it.
At least at my theater, the IMAX was almost sold out. That's why I clicked on, because I needed a very specific time and they didn't have a lot of time options for opening night. Because I don't want to go ahead. Oh, sorry.
No, I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised by this. I think this is the movie that's going to blow kind of the doors back open a little bit. And I'll say that sci-fi fantasy fans are fans of Dune. When it comes out, that's it. One, pre-sale tickets are already going like hotcakes. That will build buzz around it, and it will gain momentum as it goes. And when they start to release those numbers, we might be shocked to find out that it's already pre-sold close to 100 million for opening weekend. I think this will be the one that's going to push that 150 mark. That
150 opening?
I think so. If Venom can pull a 90, this movie should be able to pull a 150. And I'm willing to step out. And by the way, this doesn't hurt me at all to say this crap, so I can go big or go home because I'm already here. I think this will be the movie that really sets that tone. It looks so good. It's a loaded cast. We've gone on and on about this. Jesse, it's your number one. It was your number one movie at the beginning of the year. It's one of your favorite audiobooks. It's or books in general. It's being done by a director who gets it.
The cast could, like 90% of it could not have been. Not only is it an amazing cast, the job of the casting was done so well. Like everyone fits right into their role incredibly.
there are other directors and other movies out there that really wanted people, and they're like, no, sorry, they're all filming Doom or Dune. They can't do this. So sorry, they're all booked up. They're out with Denis Villeneuve, and you're screwed.
Yeah, they're hey, Oscar Isaac, are you available? Nope, sorry, no can Dune.
Yeah, boom, boom, boom. There you go. I think this will be the one to blow the doors off, and I'm predicting 150. Opening weekend.
I think your optimism is adorable and welcome on the show. I would be shocked if it opens as high as Venom.
I'm going to write down the timestamp and the date for this recording, because when I'm right, we're coming back to this puppy.
Let's put numbers on
we're cutting into the show.
Let's put a movie tickets on it. We'll whoever wins this buys movie tickets for everyone else for, I don't know, Eternals.
Joey, you're on Twitch. Clip this out.
That's right.
Send it.
So
I agree with I agree with the I agree with Jesse. This guy over here. Sorry, not you.
Not you.
I think you are very optimistic, and I love it.
I want to be optimistic.
My gauge is my wife, because she hates seeing movies opening weekend. She hates the clapping and all the cheering. She wants, like, I want to watch the movie. I'm not here for all your cheering. She just hates the opening weekend type crowd because it's disruptive. And so when I went and saw Shang-Chi with our group of people, she was upset. She's like, no, that's one I wanted to see. I'm like, well, we went opening weekend. We opened opening night. And she goes, well, I could have waited till Monday. She was upset I saw it without her. She didn't care about Venom just because she didn't like the first movie. But this movie, I was like, what about Dune? She goes, what's Dune? Like, she had no comprehension of what it is at all. We're not huge book readers. So I showed her the trailer, and she's like, yeah, no, you can go see that without me. Like, that's my gauge in general, because that's who I live with. But it's not hitting the common audience. It's going to go for the geeky great audience. I think it'll be on par and slightly above 2049. That's what
I'm going to say, though. We've found out over the last 15 years that the geeky audience has a lot of money to spend at the theater.
Sure. Dune is going to be a word of mouth film, I think, because it suffers a bit from being so heady and dense that you can't really market what Dune is. All people see is desert and explosions but it's not even about. There's a lot of really great action in the story, but that's not the focus of it. And I don't think, and so I think they kind of have to mislead people with the marketing and be like, oh yeah, there's going to be guns and and try to like overly simplify it. And so it's weird. It's just weird to market. And I think Denny, as much as I like the guy, he chooses things that are hard to market in general. Like Rival.
Do you know how much 2049 pulled opening weekend?
Not off the top of my head.
31 million.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's do this. I threw a number out at least. Jesse, give me $1.
Okay. Yeah. No. So I think I'm gonna say, because it's already made 80 overseas, and it's got 89% on Rotten Tomatoes right now, which bodes well for it.
Made 80 overseas since release?
Yeah, since its overseas release. Like, it has accumulated like a little over 80 million so far already. Pretty good word of mouth. I'm gonna put it at 70. Right at 70, I think.
That's
right,
exactly
Sean,
that's exactly what I was going to say. In the range of 60 to 80, and 70 is right in the middle. That's exactly what I was going to say.
I will say I think it's going to have more legs than Venom because of word of mouth. I think it's going to take us brave nerds to go out and push it first, and then the people that don't know what the hell Dune is are going to see it in the weeks to come.
The thing that will help it is when they get to the right there at the end, the certified fresh on the advertising. It's amazing the number of people that for some reason still listen to that stupid website. But when it gets the certified fresh 89% stamp on it, that a lot of people will listen to that and say, oh, okay, well, this is supposed to be a pretty good movie. I wanted to see a movie. This is supposed to be pretty good. We'll see it. It's an epic adventure movie and sci-fi, so we'll see it. I think it will gain steam as the marketing gets a little bit closer to launch day. I'm still sticking with the 150.
Something we're not talking about. It's day and date on HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
People who want to see a major movie in the theater are going to go to the theater.
I almost feel like I went too high now, reminding myself about HBO Max.
I think people who would have otherwise. So, in a normal world, I agree that the nerd dollar would have pushed this overall box office higher and higher as time went on. But because of the day and date release, I think that they'll go see it once, maybe twice. You're not going to hear about someone who saw this 9 times in theaters. That's not the world we live in anymore. When it's coming out on home video, they might see it a time or 2, or maybe 3. I mean, if you're
that's what happened with Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad's second week drop off was steep,
right?
And I'm part of the problem. I saw it, I loved it, but now that I've seen it, I have it at home, and so I just turned it on, and that was it.
The last movie I saw more than once in theaters, Endgame, and maybe before that, Force Awakens. Those are the only 2 movies in the last 5 years, 7 years now.
I saw Free Guy twice because it was a theatrical exclusive, and I really liked it.
I'm happy for you. It was good. I liked it.
All right. Well, we have one more thing that we can crack into. We can just spend the next couple minutes if you guys have it here. Do you guys want to talk about what you're reading or watching this week a little bit before we close out the show? All right. Scott's always got something interesting, whether it's Bigfoot or Lord of the Rings. We always got something interesting coming from Mr. Fox. What do you got going on this week?
Well, still working through Wellington Paranormal. One of the best suggestions I picked up from this channel. Never would have thought it would come from Jesse, but lo and behold, he had some nuggets.
At first, I was like, "Thank you." Wait,
was that a compliment? No, that Wellington Paranormal, very good. I took the time this week to get caught up on What If, mostly last night, which is good up until, or it's better now that we've gotten closer to the end, and I'm hoping, and Alex touched on it early, if they really tie it well together, it might make more of those episodes better, but sometimes things are better after you know the whole story. And as far as audiobooks, I started back through, I think I said this 2 weeks ago, or I'm not listening to the audiobooks right now other than Lord of the Rings, which is my go-to. But I'm listening or reading through The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, Chronicles of Narnia with my daughter. And that's always been a blast.
Nice.
What about you, Sean? What are you tuning into right now?
I'm not reading anything because I have so many movies to watch. I can't read. I don't tell my future possible opponents about this. I'm still running through the X-Men, trying to shore up that stuff. Everything I'm doing currently until the end of the FCL season is IG related. So look at what do you think is an inner geekdom movie, and that's what I'm paying attention to. Whether it's watching the
lucky
movies.
Lucky for you, there's only
there's
only 280 movies in the
only
IG.
296. That's all.
Easy peasy.
Easy. If I just watched 1 a day or 3 a day, I could bang through it. And,
the worst thing is you don't just have to know the movie; you have to know who directed, who wrote it, who did the screenplay, who was the casting director, who was the person who was supposed to have been hired but then was passed up for the movie.
Emily Blunt.
Sean Connery, Gandalf. Yeah, all that.
It's Superman the motion picture.
And just for anybody that's watching this now or later that doesn't know, Sean pulled himself a perfect match with a steal in his last IG match, which, hell yeah, gonna make me bow out next year.
It's a challenge, Jesse.
I'll
be awaiting you.
I shy away from challenges. Is there anything else, Sean?
No, that's about it.
IG stuff?
Yeah, basically.
Well, I'm kind of...
Catch me in a month when I can get back to normal stuff. Ted Lasso. I mean, after my last match, Ted Lasso, I finally caught up on that. We had 2 episodes to get through.
And we talked about Ted Lasso a bunch last night, a little bit during and after the show.
Yeah.
If you're not watching Ted Lasso,
treat yourself.
Come on, yourself. It is a treat. It's a delicious little biscuit in the morning or night.
I was going to say that.
I've been doing a lot of the same stuff, watching Ted Lasso, watching What If, watching all the movies. Now I think either 4 or 5 episodes into Why the Last Man on Hulu, Wellington Paranormal, obviously a great time. And I just started. I haven't made it all the way through the episode yet because it's a long episode. We started late, but Apple TV has a high budget show called Foundation based off of a book series, I believe, with Lee Pace. Is one of like the emperors, and there's like these like 3 emperors, and they're all clones of the same person at different stages in their life. You have Jared Harris as like a mathematician in there. There's a lot of interesting concepts. It looks like movie quality, very, very high end. And I wouldn't say I'm lost, but I'm waiting to get invested. So we'll see if this is something that carries on for me.
How many are out, and how many are you into?
I think like 3 or 4 episodes are out, and I'm like 45 minutes into the first episode.
Oh, okay.
Like they're long.
Okay. Can I throw one more thing in?
Yes.
Oh, sorry if you had another one.
I do, but go ahead. Throw your.
I was just going to say I haven't watched as much stuff because I was binging Norm Macdonald stand-up since his passing, and that guy had some of the best delivery, timing, and he would make the largest, most well-respected group so uncomfortable by saying really awkward things in front of them. And his storytelling, he would tell really, really, really long, convoluted jokes that had terrible punchlines. About his moth joke, the one about a youthful porpoise. 6-minute long jokes with a punchline that sounds like a toddler told it, but they're hilarious because his delivery is so good. So I lost a lot of time in the last week and a half listening to Norm Macdonald stand up.
Nice.
It should surprise no one that after finishing 26 hours of listening to The Sandman that is available so far in Audible, I roped Lauren into it. Now I'm re-listening to Act 1 with Lauren. So that's my recommendation to everybody. Still on the Speakeasy on our Sunday show, still trying to raise up some money to get that giant collector's edition of the Sandman volumes because it's beautiful artwork. It's an incredible story, and it would be really cool to have. Anyways, I think that's it. Yeah. Bing, bang, bada, boom. Thank you guys for joining us. Even though we spent 20 minutes on trivia, we managed to keep it just a little over an hour. So that was nice. It was good to see everyone. Always spending the whole week looking forward to these conversations. Thank you to everyone that joined us in the chat, whether it's Garth, Alex,
Sean.
Sean's in there too. Yeah. Maddie Gunner, Jake in the beginning. Appreciate all you guys so very much. And thank you for keeping this channel running. We will see you.
NorCal Denali is my buddy Joey.
Joey, thank you. The only reason I didn't say that is because I didn't say his name. So, Joey, thank you so much, Joey. And thank you for, it looks like you clipped out something for us so that Scott can owe us money.
I didn't say I owed anybody money. I said this cost me nothing. I think it was my statement. So I went really high. I stand by it.
Yay. All right, guys. So until next Sunday night at 11 p.m. when we do our Swift Wings Speakeasy, that is it from all of us. Anyone want to plug anything? Sean, where can people find you outside of here?
If you take down the banner, you can see it says at Sean Wingblade, spell Sean correctly, SEAN. And all of that. And I'm hoping for one more FCL match by the end of the year. They're wrapping things up. They only got 4 shows left, so that's only 8 matches. So there's a lot of competitors who want to get in there, I'm sure, chomping at the bit. So I'm hoping I can get a spot. But other than that, yeah, hit me up, Twitter.
Yeah. I am legally changing my name to Venom. Yeah, you can find me obviously on here. You can find me on Twitch. Rarely. I'm starting to play with Twitch a little bit. See how that goes. They got this Ethernet cord after Sean bothered me for I don't know how many months, maybe a year. So it feels like. So we'll play some games on occasion, and also follow us on all the audio platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, all that good stuff. Check the description; it's all in there. Scott.
You can find me here. You can find me on Twitter where I like and retweet Jesse's posts, and then I'm on Facebook, and you can find me at church on Sunday mornings, Rescue Church Maple Valley. That's about it.
Hey, everyone here, shut up. Before you do anything, I need you to like this video, click the subscribe button, and share with your
Hey everyone, Jesse here, and don't exit out quite yet. While I have you, I want to take just a quick second to talk with you about something that's very important to me. Right now on the Flickin' Reel channel, we're just a couple of guys sitting around and speaking geek, but we think that we can build into something greater. We think that we can build a community, a place for all of us to come together and talk about our thoughts and experiences about various types of fandoms. For this to happen, though, we do need your help, so please do me a huge favor and subscribe to the channel. Along with that, click that little bell icon that notifies you anytime that we upload new content for your viewing pleasure. So again, thank you so much for stopping by and visiting us this week. We hope we'll see you again next week. And just remember, until then, keep it real.